The news day continues here on One News Now. I'm Diego Castro, bringing you the biggest headlines from around the world. Without providing evidence, Russia is now accusing the United States of being the one behind what it says was a drone attack on the Kremlin intended to kill its president, Vladimir Putin. This comes a day after the Kremlin blamed Ukraine for what it called a terrorist attack. A video showing the moment a drone exploded above the Moscow Kremlin has been shared by numerous online news outlets. The video showed a flying object approaching the dome of the Kremlin Senate building overlooking Red Square and exploding in an intense burst of light just before reaching it. The White House was quick to reject the charge, and Ukraine has also denied involvement in the incident. Analysts told Reuters that if indeed the drones were sent to Moscow by Ukraine, the intent was likely a messaging operation meant to show it could penetrate defenses in the Russian capital rather than an attempt on Putin's life.
It's interesting that the Ukrainians have probably been trying to do this for many, many months at this point, to strike out at a critical strategic target, not from a military standpoint. This isn't going to win the war, but from a messaging standpoint that Russia can't just go on attacking Ukrainian cities and not suffer some sort of blowback or some sort of consequence.
Some Western analysts said it was possible Russia might have staged the incident to pin the blame on Kyiv and justify some kind of crushing response. Kyiv residents are now expecting Russian retaliation strikes, with air raid sirens blaring through Kyiv only a few hours after the Kremlin had made its accusation.
I don't think it was Ukraine who carried out the attack. The Russians tend to attack their own territory and then blame us, so that the West reacts and we turn out to be the aggressor instead of them.
But Alexander Vindman, who was a former National Security Council official in the White House, believes Russia staging the drone incident to lash out at Ukraine is a bit far-fetched.
I think that's a bit far-fetched. You're undermining the criticality of demonstrating Russia as a secure, powerful state for some unclear message, some unclear pretext to then lash out at the Ukrainians. When frankly, the Russians don't have much more they can do. I mean, it's not like now they're going to escalate to attacking Ukrainian cities or peaceful populations. They're already doing that.
A jury has convicted 4 members of the far-right militia group Proud Boys over plotting to attack the U.S. Capitol 2 years ago. The 4 Proud Boys members, including its former leader, were convicted of seditious conspiracy, which can carry up to 20 years in prison. It was found that the 4 formed a group of about 65 Proud Boys to mobilize after former President Donald Trump called on supporters to riot. The defense initially sought to blame Trump, who urged supporters to rampage at the Capitol. The conviction is the latest victory for the U.S. Justice Department, which pursued criminal charges against more than 1,000 people arising from the Capitol rampage to block Congress from certifying U.S. President Joe Biden's victory in the 2021 elections. We'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now World. I'm Diego Castro. Final preparations are underway for the coronation of King Charles III. Security is tight around Buckingham Palace in London to ensure public safety. More than 11,000 police officers will patrol the UK capital on the coronation day. Meanwhile, ardent monarchists have started camp out on the road to Buckingham Palace. For the royalists, the British royal family represents tradition and loyalty. Britain's Prince William and his wife Kate took a trip by tube to a London pub. They were greeted by crowds in Soho, the heart of London's nighttime economy. The royals rode on the Elizabeth Underground train line named in honor of the late Queen. The jury in the Manhattan Federal Court sides with British singer Ed Sheeran on a copyright trial, where the singer was accused of copying a 70s hit. The jury has decided that Sheeran's 2014 hit Thinking Out Loud did not unlawfully copy from Marvin Gaye's 1973 classic song Let's Get It On, written by Ed Townsend. The Townsend heirs who filed the lawsuit seeking for a share of the Sheeran's profit failed to prove that Sheeran had infringed their copyright interest in the Gaye song. Sheeran welcomed the decision after earlier vowing to quit writing songs should the jury decide to side with the plaintiff. Sheeran says the jury deciding otherwise would have set a dangerous precedent for the music industry.
We need to be able to write our original music and engage in independent creation without worrying at every step of the way that such creativity will be wrongly called into question. Like artists everywhere, these claims need to be stopped so the creative process can carry on and we can all go back to making music. And at the same time, we absolutely need trusted individuals, real experts, who help support the process of protecting copyright.
And those are the top world headlines of the hour. Join us again at 9 a.m. as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. Coming right up is Agenda at 8 a.m. I'm Diego Castro. We are One News. All sides, all the time.